Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 7 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. Tonight we're coming to you live from a spectacular little track known as Zolder, based in Germany, and should be a great little race tonight. Joining me in the commentary box tonight we have 3 other commentators, one of which is the only one here at this stage, and that's Luke Emerton. How you going, Luke?
Yeah, good, Ponty. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Excited for tonight's race. It should be a great little battle. We were certainly treated to a great race last week at Oran Park, and we saw Bo-Catel take that out by quite a few seconds. There was a good little battle with Joshua Rogers and Ian Ford, which ended in contact and gave the race win quite comfortably to Bo-Catel. But yeah, it certainly was a great race we had last week with plenty of action. So tonight we are at the Zolder circuit. Personally, I think this is a great little circuit, very challenging, lots of fast parts of the track into tight corners. If we look at the race preview for tonight, based in Belgium, 40 metres above sea level, it has a 60 km/h pit lane speed limit, 3.9 kilometres in length, a total of 10 turns, and tonight we have a 45 lap race. The weather in this qualifying session is 18 degrees with a 33 degree temperature of track temp, 47% humidity, 0% fog, and a 12.7 km/h wind speed. So it should be a great race tonight. What do you reckon, Luke?
Yeah, definitely. Quite a tight little track, as you mentioned, and not a lot of overtaking. We thought Oran Park was a bit bad for little overtaking moves last week. This one's probably even worse. A lot of opportunities get missed around this track due to the fact that it's so narrow. And a lot of tight chicanes, especially through the back section there. It's a bit hard to try and make a move. A lot of people try and dive bomb up the inside of that first chicane. Main spots to look for overtaking tonight would be turns 1, 2, 3, and possibly the final one with the alternate layout using the escape road and not the actual last chicane. So it's quite a fast little section. So it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, it certainly should. I've never actually run on the alternative track configuration myself, but have done plenty of laps in the Grand Prix circuit, which I always have enjoyed this track. I've never really run it in the V8 Supercar, more in the Skip Barber myself, but yeah, certainly is a great circuit, and yeah, pretty hard to pass around here, and I'm sure we'll see a few incidents tonight.
Yeah, just drivers I'm sure will be aware of where moves normally get made, and hopefully we'll look out for each other a bit. A lot of rear end incidents tend to occur into these tight little chicanes. You can brake pretty late into the first one, but especially in a bit of a pack towards the first few laps, they're just going to have to be real careful, because some people do tend to outbrake themselves and end up shooting through the chicane somewhere.
Yeah, and those curbs through the chicane are certainly pretty brutal. I know if you slightly get it offline, it can definitely muck up your run out of the turn.
Yeah, the V8s tend to take these curbs quite good. They a lot of two-wheel action, which is a good spot to sit with a bit of a camera. But yeah, you're right. If you do muck up, especially that first one seems to be the one where the exit goes up over the hill to the sweeping left. If you don't get a good run out of there, you do compromise your entry into the next chicane, and a lot of people can get runs around the outside of that left-hand sweeper down the hill, which sets them up for the inside of the next chicane.
Yeah, now as we look at the qualifying results so far for this server, no Joshua Rogers in the server, not too sure if he's going to be attending tonight, but we have Ian Ford out there on pole position at this stage with a 126.25. Then we go back to Benjamin Smith in second, Mitchell Selak in third, Sean Evans in 4th. Rhino Sullivan in 5th. Jake Blackhall in 6th. Matt Morris in 7th. Blake Coppo in 8th. Andrew Williams in 9th. And Greg Sharp in 10th. So who's your pick for tonight's race win? I think we could see Ian Ford certainly be right up the front there if Joshua Rogers isn't attending tonight. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, if Rogers doesn't attend, it'll open the envelope for a few other drivers, as you say, Ian Ford and a few of the other top drivers, maybe even Kane Kujimira if he's racing tonight as well. He's been up the front for the last few nights, so it'd be interesting to see a few of those boys having a go without Josh there. But we'll just have to wait and see, maybe in one of the other servers. But as you say, at the moment, if he's not there, then he's leaving his run a bit late with only about a minute left on qualifying by my clock. So
yes, as we just watch Ian Ford now going on probably his last lap. Now our second commentator for tonight, who has just joined us and regular in the SimSpeed TV commentary box, and that's Clayton Brooks. How you going, Brooksy?
Yeah, good, thanks. Monty, just jumped on the sim, mate. Wasn't sure if I was needed tonight, but it's all good. I'm here to watch this race at Zolder.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for joining us, mate. We really appreciate it, and it should be a great little race. We're just commenting. No Joshua Rogers so far in this session. Not too sure if he's in any of the others, but we certainly could see Ian Ford a contender to take this race win out tonight if Rogers isn't here.
Yeah, mate, the form that Ian Ford's been showing lately, and I know he goes quite good at this track. Put a little video up that he had the suspension all sorted here last time they raced here, so expect him to go pretty good.
Yeah, mate, he certainly has. He was given it his all last week at Oran Park and made a slightly ambitious move underneath Rogers, and yeah, it didn't end up too good for them, and he ended up having contact with Rogers. Still came home to finish in fourth last week. So we saw Bo Cubis win last week's race. Joshua Rogers finished second. Michael Cracknell finished third. Ian Ford finished fourth. Matt Morris finished fifth, and Kurt Stenberg finished sixth. Pretty good race for for Kurt Stenberg last week. He drove quite well, I thought. Not in this server, but hopefully we will see him out on track in the race.
I'm not sure if my timing's glitching or not, but I've got quite a few guys that have quit that haven't set a time. Is that right or not?
I've got a few people down here that have set a time. Most of the guys have, from what I can see. Only driver on track that hasn't set a time is Jeff Gauchi. So now as we look at the qualifying results for this server, so the top 10 is Ian Ford on pole, Benjamin Smith on second, Mitchell Selleck in third, Sean Evans in fourth, Jake Blackhall in fifth, Rhino Sullivan in sixth, Matt Morris in seventh, Blake Coppo in eighth, Andrew Williams in ninth, and Greg Sharp rounding out your top 10. When we go to 11th, we've got Brenton Hobson, Ross Rezzo in 12th, Matt Jones in 13th, ANZ Motorsports Richard Elwood in 14th, Robbie Thomas in 15th, Paul Preston in 16th, Simon Black in 17th, Dave Oliver in 18th, Raymond Steer in 19th, and Henry King in 20th. Good job by Paul Preston in the Progression Racing Australia car to get up to 16th. We haven't seen him running in the top split in the last few weeks, so good to see him up there getting amongst it.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I apologise, mate. For some reason, my qualifying times are all over the place, so I can't really comment on too much of it because I'm not sure where everyone's qualified, but...
That's okay, Brooksy, no worries, mate. So in 21st, we've got Chris Brooks, Daniel Trim in 22nd, Christian Hinton in 23rd, Craig Jones in 24th, Brody Maris in 25th, Jared Tapsell in 26th, Brenton O'Brien in 26th, Matt Stratford in 28th, and Thom O'Connor in 29th, and Nick Parker running out number 30. So this won't be the official results, and we won't know them until we go into the race server, in which the race server will be up in about 10 minutes time. So we will take a quick break and leave you with some footage to watch and join you for the race in about 10 minutes time.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
iRacing is the most accurate online racing game and simulation available to the general public. The iRacing service allows you, the race fan, the real-world racer, the race enthusiast, the gamer, to race virtual replicas of real-world cars and at real-world, world-class racetracks. iRacing laser scans all of its content to millimeter accuracy, which gives you a digital replication of that car or track. Whether you want to race for online championships, race your buddies in a league, or test for an upcoming real-world race, iRacing has what those sim racers, gamers, race fans, and real-world racers are looking for. Unparalleled accuracy with loads of fun wheel-to-wheel excitement. Because of the solid community that iRacing has built, along with that attention to detail, iRacing has been able to form official partnerships with renowned motorsport organizations such as NASCAR, SRO, IMSA, V8 Supercars, and others to develop professionally sanctioned online racing series for our members to participate in. This is unique to iRacing.
When we started iRacing, we kind of fundamentally wanted to take a different approach with licensing and treat them more like partnerships. You know, for instance, NASCAR was one of our first big partners that we brought in, and it's a great way to market your product. There is a growing sense that the virtual space is a great way to interact with the fans of your real-life series. Simulation in itself is just becoming more and more popular in the real racing world, and it's natural to think that to be successful in the real world in these racing series, you're going to have to be up to speed with simulation at this point, because it's the only way that you can actually get any testing done.
One of the things that we've realized in partnering with iRacing is that it allows us to expose the sport to a much broader audience than we've ever had the ability to reach out to. Not many people have the opportunity to drive a race car. iRacing breaks down those barriers and lets you do that. So for us, we're able to expose racing in general and the sport of NASCAR to a much broader audience from that standpoint. It engages people in NASCAR in general. So they like iRacing. If they don't want to become a professional race car driver, they get a feel for what the sport's all about. They're more apt to either go to a race or watch on TV.
iRacing's ever-growing global online community is very appealing to IMSA and what we're trying to do and grow our product as well. Clearly, iRacing is a leader in sim racing and logical and attractive partner for us to be with. For sim racers who have not been exposed to IMSA before, this is a great way to entice them to come check our product out on television or attend our events in person.
At this point now, we're actually getting contacted by racing series and tracks and manufacturers because they want to be involved in iRacing, because they see the value of having that sustained exposure to key demographics for them. Over the last few months, we've done partnerships with the SRO, who is the sanctioning body for the Blancpain GT series in Europe. IMSA, which is obviously the sports car series here in the US. They're two of the newest partners that have gotten on board with this idea that there is a way to kind of bring their brands into iRacing and create these virtual series that have real meaning to consumers of our product and fans of their series.
Next to the traditional ways of promoting the championship through TV, through media, through all forms of internet, we appreciate the growing importance of gaming. iRacing offered a very realistic platform where high-level players can get the nearest to the specificity of our type of racing.
Companies like NASCAR or Blancpain Series or IMSA don't just partner up with everybody. They see how authentic we are, how realistic the racing is, how much effort we put into making things real and fun and exciting for our members, and that's how we get to work with these companies. It helps us both engage our existing customers. It's more exciting to race when you're racing an actual NASCAR series versus just a stock car. And it also helps us reach new people, because new people, they follow these series in the real world and they want to get as close to them as they possibly can.
One of the things we love about iRacing and what they've created there is that it really emulates what we do in real life in NASCAR. You have to work your way up, you have to train, you have to become better at every single level in order to make it to the very top. iRacing was the perfect partner with the technology that they had to offer, really the best of anything that was out there, and they created the most authentic racing experience that anybody could find. Short of getting in an actual race car, you're not going to find anything close to real life than what you'll find in iRacing.
Well, g'day folks, and welcome back to round 7 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series Championship. And tonight we are coming to you from the Zolder Alternative Circuit. We have 30 drivers in the server for tonight, and looks like Ian Ford's going to be on pole position. We have 3 minutes left in the warm-up session, and then we will be getting into a 45 lap race around this spectacular little track. 3.9 k's around the circuit, and some very challenging corners, some tight chicanes, some very aggressive curbs, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of action out on track tonight.
I'm not quite in the session yet, Fonty, but you're right, it is a very challenging track. A couple of chicanes in there, and a little bit undulation around the back end of the track, so very difficult for the drivers.
Yeah, it certainly is, mate. It certainly is a very challenging track. These cars will get some serious air going through some of these curbs, so I'm sure we'll see some spectacular footage throughout the race. I think Mitchell Selleck will be a contender for the race win. Ian Ford's going to be hard to beat, as Joshua Rogers hasn't made it to tonight's event. So this is the first event out of the previous 6 rounds. He's made it to every race, so yeah, we're not seeing him here tonight. He is still leading the championship points at this stage. So we've got Joshua Rogers in first, Michael Cracknell is in second, Ian Ford's in third, Kurt Stenberg in fourth. He's also not here tonight. Ryan O'Sullivan is sitting in fifth, Kane Kugamiya in sixth, Michael Hammond in seventh. Our very own Simon Black is sitting in 8th, Brenton Hobson in 9th, Nick Hausler is 10th, Forzan Al Nabi is 11th, Matt Morris is 12th, Paul Preston is 13th, Greg Sharp is 14th, and Jake Blackhall is 15th. So we've certainly been treated to some great racing so far throughout the series. V8 Scops Premier Series is just around the corner. We have the Super Test in just a couple of weeks, which is going to be held at the Phillip Island circuit. And it should be a great series this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of anticipation for that series. I know our guys are eagerly waiting. Yeah, you're one of them, Fonty. You gonna have a go?
Yeah, I certainly plan to, Brooksy. Yeah, I do, mate. Yeah, I will be definitely attending the rounds. Got some things in the pipeline for the V8 Scop series.
Of course, you're teaming up with Richard Elwood.
Yeah, Richard, he's a very good driver. We haven't seen him in the last few rounds in this OSR V8 Supercar series, as he's been away on holiday. But yeah, certainly he'll be one to watch out for in tonight's event, and I look forward to teaming up with him in the future.
We've got the guys taking the grid now, so will be all actions go in a little bit.
Yeah, so as we quickly read out, we've got Ian Ford in first, Benjamin Smith in second, Jason Dixon in third, Michael Cracknell in fourth, Mitchell Selleck in fifth, Sean Evans in sixth, Paul Gorell in seventh, Jake Blackhall in eighth, Ryan O'Sullivan in ninth, and Matt Morris in 10th. Peter Sattler in 11th. Blake Coppo in 12th. As the lights go red, and we are underway for 45 laps around Zolder. And Ian Ford's had a great start. Looking like he's going to lead it into turn 1.
Yeah, he certainly has. I think that's Benjamin Smith right behind him. Just behind, there's a great battle going on. Always a little bit
Mitchell
of a rub
Seeley
there.
getting pushed slightly wide. He's going to drop a few positions here. Cars in all sorts of directions. No Michael Cracknell tonight. Oh yes, sorry. Michael Cracknell sitting in 3rd. So Selak's been pushed back to 5th position as they come into the first of the chicanes.
There's a spinner in the back of the pack.
Oh,
Looks like it's the simulator car.
thanks for joining us, Josh.
Sorry about being a bit late there.
That's alright, mate.
Tea.
No worries at all.
There's the two ERRU cars up the front of Benjamin Smith and Ian Ford. I've got a little bit of a gap now over Michael Cracknell of SDC Motorsports, because the SDC and the ERA guys in a pretty tight alliance, so they've got a good setup here at Zolder. And Mitchell Sialak has gotten back past, I think it was Chris Dickinson.
Oh, there's cars everywhere coming down the front straight. We've got 5 cars wide coming into turn 1. Who's going to make it through?
Yeah, that was Todd Parks and his teammate of Brenton Hobson. You had a bookending the sandwich, so to speak, of Ross Rizzo. He was on the inside, and the 2 Eaton Commodores come out of it and prevail.
Yeah, and that all started when Jason Bentz ran wide going through the last chicane through there and sort of bottled up the entire pack there.
Simon Black got loose there coming out of the first chicane, but he's managed to hold on to it as well.
Todd Parks and Brendan Hobson in the Eaton sponsored vehicles running 14th and 15th.
Jason Bentz got real loose up over the hill there in that little battle, but he's held it up on the brake. These cars not seeming to spread out as much as they did last week at Oran Park, and probably due to the tight track, which is good. We should see battles all week, as we've got a car in the pits there as well doing a drive-through, and another car also sitting stationary getting repairs by the look of it.
Yes, so it'll be interesting to see when these guys make a pit stop. We've got Ian Ford, he's leading the race at this stage. Benjamin Smith following closely behind in 2nd. Michael Cracknell back in 3rd. Mitchell Selak a 2nd back from him in 4th. Paul Gorell in 5th. Ryan O'Sullivan is 6th. Jake Blackhall 7th. Jason Dixon is in 8th. Andrew Williams 9th, and Peter Sattler running out your top 10.
And so far, the first flying lap, Ian Ford was the quickest on track for 27.2, so got good pace right from the start in that car.
Yeah, 27.2 for Ian Ford and a 27.3 for Benjamin Smith, so not much in it at this stage of the race. The gap between Ford and Smith at this stage is 1 second exactly, so keep an eye on how that goes.
Oh, there's a big crash. One of the Plus Fitness cars around on the main straight coming out of the access road last corner.
Oh, Sean Thompson has had a big moment there. We'll go back and view that replay. See what's happened there.
Well, the good thing is he didn't hit anybody else as he spun around, so that was well done by everybody else to avoid him.
Yeah, sounds like he's calling for a change of underpants after that one over the radio.
Oh, big moment there. Huge moment.
Yeah, he just dropped the left-hand wheels off the curb onto the grass, and he was a passenger from then on in.
I tell you what, he did so good to keep that off that wall then. He's just the car control.
Yeah,
the wrong way.
He nearly kept it going actually. He was a bit unlucky to slightly go. He nearly did a full 360 and kept going. As we just watched an onboard footage of him losing it there. So he's dropped back to 27th position.
Tell you what, that's a move that Van Gisbergen going to be proud of. And he did the little flick turn without hitting the wall either, which is good. That's a great bit of driving, I like that.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself after losing it there.
Matt Morris and Blake Copper managed to go too wide through the tightest section of track. And now I think it's Hobson's in on the act, and he's gone up the inside. Oh, as they touch. Oh, I'm not sure. It looked like Blake Copper didn't leave a lot of room.
I think you're a little bit behind there, Brooksy. Not quite on live camera, mate.
Sorry, mate, I was too. My bad.
That's quite alright, mate.
Well, the battle is still going on here with Ross Rizzo now under a lot of pressure from Brenton Hobson.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a Eaton Commodore sandwich there in the Plus Fitness Falcon.
So Todd Parks, Ross Rizzo having a very close battle there.
That was a very good move by Ross there to get by.
Yes, Todd Parks slightly holding up his teammate there as he lets him go through. Oh, side by side as they go through that turn. And Richard Aylward right behind him.
And he's got to be careful there of a cut track too. He dropped that wheel a fair way off, and you can get a slowdown coming through that section if you're not careful, as they're too wide there again.
Yes, and this is just letting Brenton get away.
Yeah, and Albert getting in on the action now as well, trying to keep the
oh, big moment there.
Well. Big moment. Oh, he's coming across.
That was Todd Parks. Just might ride on board.
I think he's managed to keep that off the wall, did he, or did he just glance it?
Oh, we're just going to take an onboard replay of that one. Just slightly clipped it with the rear end. Wouldn't have done too much damage though, so he should be able to continue on alright there.
Yeah, it looks like he got going alright again as Kurt Stenberg's putting Elwood under a lot of pressure here coming up to the back section.
Yes, I was incorrect. We do have Kurt Stenberg for tonight's race. I did say earlier that he wasn't here, but he started a little bit further down, so currently sitting in 17th position behind Richard Aylward.
Aylward's made a few spots. He's made 5 spots since the start of the race. 6 spots, sorry.
As we just look at the gains now. And for your top 20, we've got Ross Rizzo. He's moved up 6 positions. Andrew Williams has also moved up 6. Brenton Hobson up 4. Richard Aylward up 6. Kurt Stenberg's moved up 4. And Robbie Thomas has moved up 5. So as we look at the front now, and Ian Ford is pulling a gap on Benjamin Smith. 2.5 seconds it's opened up to now. Nice clean and consistent drive from Ford so far. Cracknell putting a bit of pressure on Benjamin Smith in the early stages of the race as we go 8 laps down through this 45 lap race. Mitchell Selak following closely behind in 4th position. And then Ryan O'Sullivan sitting in 5th, having a good battle with Paul Gorell, who's in 6th. Big gap back from Jason Dixon to Matt Morris. And Blake Coppo sitting there in 10th. Peter Sattler in 11th. And Ross Rizzo right behind them in 12th.
I tell you, Ponce, it's a great little battle we got going on for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment between Dixon, Blackwell, Gorrell and O'Sullivan. 4 cars are all linked together and not much separating them.
Yeah, my cameraman's been stuck on this group for a couple of laps now, and yeah, they keep chopping and changing through the tighter sections.
Jason Dixon sitting comfortably in 8th position there. He's just watching the action unfold in front of him, driving very clean and consistent laps. They get through the first of the chicanes. Having a look up the inside of Jake Blackwell. Not a corner where you want to make a move. Certainly tightens up on you.
Yeah, they're coming up to the probably the best overtaking position. This corner right here, you can it's plenty wide enough on exit to go too wide.
So the alternative circuit around Zolder, we missed the last chicane, which is a very difficult chicane to get out of. So quite a fast last turn in this track tonight. And a very difficult turn 1. Certainly tightens up on you very quickly.
Yeah, very easy to run wide around that and carry too much speed. And as I noted earlier with the cut track as well, you think you can take a fair bit of that corner, which you can, but there's a fine line there between a slowdown and just a one time. So yeah, the boys have got to be careful, but it's definitely a lot easier layout, that last section, with this alternate layout using the escape road, as there's a good battle here between Tom Parks as well. Oh, as one of the cars gets loose out of the chicane and there's contact in that group we were just watching.
Contact. Jason Dixon, I gave him the commentator's curse. Jason Dixon and Jake Blackwell, so not too sure. We'll quickly run back and have a look at the replay on that.
Yeah, he just got loose on exit, I think.
Yeah, Blake Hall, he got lit up the rear tyres and was heading straight towards the fence, and Dixon was just an innocent bystander.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Jason after his very good qualifying performance of 3rd place.
Yeah, he was driving really well. Blackwell having a little bit of damage. He's holding up these cars now, letting them go.
Boys, we got a battle right on now for second spot of the podium. Cracker's had a look up the inside of turn 1. He's right underneath the wing now of Smith.
Expect to see a move here very soon from Cracknell as he looks up the inside, just showing his nose, putting a bit of pressure on Smith.
Yeah, it's a very easy corner to break a little bit late and overcook it and get a cut track, so it's good tactics from Crackers.
Certainly pretty hard to stay focused on the job in front when you've got a car right under your rear wing giving you all sorts of pressure.
Just the pair of them are going to have to be mindful, even though Telak's 3 seconds behind these guys. They start battling, Telak will be on top of them in no time.
As they're catching Paul Preston running under the Progression Racing Australia banner.
Boys, Robbie Tommy's had a big spin-off.
Go back and have a look at that.
Not sure what happened there. I was going through the just after the first chicane. And it looked like Richard Aylward had some net issues.
Oh, they've had contact. Him and Richard Aylward had big contact there. Managed to keep it going though.
Robbie's done a great job to greek over that car and keep it going.
Yeah, so Richard Aylward's certainly a very hard racer, but very clean. So having a rub indoors, they did have contact, but they managed to keep it going without any damage.
I think unfortunately Richard might leave the service soon.
Yeah, he's having very big internet dramas. We also have a live timing web page available for the viewers out there, which is in the section of the YouTube channel. So anyone wanting to check out the live timing for this event, go to that link. We've got Paul Preston sitting in 28th. He's just had Mitchell Selak go past him. Sponsored by Identity Web Design. Their car's certainly looking great out on track.
Yeah, it's Cracknell here. He's just not backing off as such, just staying with him at the moment and waiting for that mistake. He closes right up on him in the last couple of corners and seems to get away from him a little bit mid-section, but just biding his time here.
So Ian Ford is comfortably out front now. He's got a 4.4 second gap back to Smith. Certainly won't be making it any better for themselves, these two guys battling. Cracknell looking to get past him as soon as possible. Not too sure when these guys are going to make their pit stops, but I'm guessing around half race distance. Pretty hard on rear tyres around this track. Easy to light their rears up and wear them out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and quite a slippery track from memory running on this last time out before, but again that's before the new track model and that came out. But yeah, notably this track is noted for quite slippery conditions at any time of the day and condition.
Yeah, well I did get to cut a few laps myself on Monday night around this track, and I certainly found it very hard to control the rear end.
Oh, there's a Jelitov car off, sorry, just in front of Michael Cracknell there, but I think it was a lap car rolling around turn 2, sorry.
Yeah, I think it was his teammate of Jake Blackwell.
That's unfortunate. He was all on his own. I think he just lived it himself, I think.
Marty Atkins sitting there in 19th position. Good to see him out there having a crack at it. Andrew Williams following closely behind in 20th.
If we can look up ahead, Fonty, there is a huge battle going on. Jason Dix, Simon Stenberg, and Tommy's in it. Not really Tommy, sorry.
So we've got 5 cars here, 3 wide.
That doesn't work.
Coming into the... Oh, and we've got a car around. And that is...
Gone.
Todd Parks.
Todd Parks. Wow, he'll be disappointed with that. He's managed to get it going. So
Yeah, he got a little tag there from Jason Bentz heading in. Jason Bentz couldn't get the nose of the car out of the way quick enough.
And Jason seems to have slowed down to let Todd back by again, so that's good sportsmanship showing there.
Yeah,
Todd
will be pretty gutted about that one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That was a good little battle, but yeah, definitely 5 wide with a bit of a star pattern there coming down that straight was never going to work into that corner, no matter how hard you try and squeeze that through that chicane.
Yeah, so we've got Kurt Stenberg. He's moved up to 14th position. We've managed to lose Richard Aylward. He's dropped out of the server with internet connection dramas, so he'll be absolutely gutted about that. Matt Jones sitting in 15th. We've seen him attend every round so far. He's having a good little battle there with Simon Tennant in 16th. So Benjamin Smith managing to hold out Cracknell. Cracknell getting very close though as he's looking up the inside into turn 1. Oh, 2 wide into there, giving each other racing room. Benjamin Smith has the drive out there though, and he's going to have the inside line running into the next turn. This will certainly be giving an opportunity. No, not quite. Smith driving very well. And this will be giving a chance for Mitchell Selak to catch up to these boys, as he has a big moment there.
Oh, sideways around turn 4.
Oh, that was great. Might even go back and have a little replay of that one. Close-up replay.
Yes, for those of you playing at home, not the quickest way around that corner, but definitely the most spectacular.
So Selak giving it his all to try and catch these boys in front of him.
Yeah, it's a very hard place to get the move done at turn 1 because you can get right up alongside quite easily, but yeah, open yourself up to being on the outside for next turn.
So Cracknell looking all over the place to get a move done on Benjamin Smith. The gap from Ian Ford now to these boys is 5.5 seconds, so Ian Ford comfortably out in front at this stage. If Ian Ford does manage to win this race, it will be his first race win of the series. Regular to this series, Sean Evans, he's sitting in 22nd at this stage, running under the Evolution Racing Australia banner. Mihail Ladishov in 21st, right on the rear bumper of Simon Black. Simon Black, the organiser for the series, and the V8 Scops series, also the development series, and the Formula 1 event, which is held on a Thursday night. Simon kindly running the SimSpeed TV livery on his car, so we'd like to thank Simon for running that and supporting us.
I think these two have been in a battle for the past 10 or so laps. Just been keeping an eye on Mihail down the back there, because he's usually somewhere mid-pack, and he seems to be behind Simon for quite a while now.
Yeah, just looking back up at that battle with Cracknell and Smith there, it's, as you were, it seems like Crackers just gets close enough coming into the back section the last couple of corners. He just can't string together the middle section to get the move done as he comes up close, coming into the last chicane here, or the shortcut as we were calling it, and into turn 1. Again, still about a car length gap. He just can't get close enough at the right time to get that dive going, and see how, as hard as he's trying, just can't get the move done as he shows the nose there coming round 1, looking at 2, but not close enough there at all. He's just going to have to shadow him again through this section. He needs to get a good run out of here and have a go at that first chicane, I would say, or up around the second chicane.
Yes, as we're just taking a lap on board with Cracknell. Very dirty windscreen I can see, which won't be helping, is causing getting past Benjamin Smith. So 19 laps through this event out of 45, so not quite at half race distance yet. Very challenging track, not many opportunities for a break around here, so I'm sure these guys will be pretty tired after they're finished. Cracknell looking to struggle with rear end grip, I can see. As he's taken a stop, so first of our cars to take a stop. Can he make a jump on Benjamin Smith?
I tell you what, this is a pretty good strategy. Like, not that Smith is holding him up there, but he might just find that if he breaks that draft there and just gets some new tyres in the car, some bit of fuel, and just gives himself a rest for a couple of seconds, that he might come out and be able to do the undercut here. And I think Smith is going to have to pit next lap if he wants to maintain that lead on Crackers.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see when Smith makes his stop, whether or not he'll try and stop this next lap. Very good pit entry by Cracknell there, so I can sort of expect to see Cracknell possibly get a jump.
He's got to be careful on this exit as well.
Mitchell Selleck trying to chase down Benjamin Smith. He's got a 3-second gap to him. A very unsettled car at this stage of the race, it looks.
Yeah, and Crackers has done well there. He's come out in a nice gap in the field, so he's going to be able to get a fairly clean lap in here before he comes around to try and get Smith.
So we've got Kurt Stenberg also in pit lane. Sean Evans catching Mihail Ladyshoff and Simon Black. So we can expect to see a little battle come about from these guys.
Yep. And so
Smith, yes, Smith is in the pit lane. So will we see Cracknell go past him? Didn't quite see the run into it, and we also have Mitchell Selak in there. So how much?
Got a good.
Sorry, mate.
Got a good view of it down the front straight. To see when Cracknell's coming around.
Matt Morris has also come into the pits this lap.
So we've got Cracknell just entering the front straight now. Benjamin Smith just leaving pit lane. Can he get it done? He's going to slightly struggle. Oh, and he's got him. So good stop by Smith there. Has he taken enough fuel though is the question. So cold tyres, Cracknell will be gutted. He certainly wanted to get the jump on him.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's quite a large gap to open up, considering that there's only 1 lap difference, and I didn't quite time the stops there, so I'm not sure what the difference is. But Siak was a big loser out of that as well. He's dropped way back out of those that battle that he was trying to catch earlier.
Well, on his end lap, Michael Cracknell was 2/10 faster than Ben Smith, so it'll be interesting to see how much faster Ben was on his out lap than Michael Cracknell was.
Yeah, definitely an interesting thing to keep an eye on, and now we just play the waiting game with Ian Ford here as he's just negotiating some lap traffic, and he might look to pit this lap knowing that the other 2 have now gone in.
So Ben Smith was 1.8 seconds faster on his out lap there, so that's quite a lot of time there, and he's gained quite a bit on Michael Cracknell due to this.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to be made and lost in that pit exit. It's the limiter goes off as soon as you exit pit lane, or your pit box pretty much where he was, and it's up to how fast you feel like taking that left-hander and then out onto the main drag there, because you can fence it quite easily on a cold tyre set before you blend back into the track. So yeah, Ford now still going around, but he's going to get held up here. He's got a car that's just come out of the pits, and he's still sitting behind the simulated Falcon there, which has been following for a few laps. So he's got to make a decision now. With a 1:28 last lap, he's really got to just, as the car gets loose in front of him, and he's got to really make that decision now and see what he can do. If I was Ford's crew chief right now, I'd be telling him to probably box this lap. These 2 cars in front are also having a battle, which I believe is the position in front. So yeah, he'll be wanting to get out of there quite quickly, I think. That Evolution car just in front of Ford just got real loose coming on the main straight, and luckily Ian was able to now negotiate both cars and can try and start building another gap. There's a simulated Falcon of Morris there. Looking back to our 2nd and 3rd place battle here, and it looks like Smith is still out in front by a fair way on Michael Cracknell as they come onto the main straight again. And as one of the simulated Falcons goes around behind, who was that? Brian Borg in the simulated
Yeah.
Falcon has gone round and into the wall out of turn 1. That seems to be, sorry, the final turn. Seems to be claiming a lot of victims tonight down there. Quite slippery, dropping the wheel off and just going into the inside fence. Back in pit lane with a tow, so that looks like possibly race over for Brian Borg, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's Paul Gorrell is now entered pit lane, so that should cleanse the top couple of cars at least.
Still waiting on Ian Ford to pit.
Of course, yep. Ian Ford looks to be running the long game. He's been known to be one of the first guys to pit usually.
Yeah, surprised not to see him in a bit earlier there, Brooksy. And as you say, he does like to pit early, or at least straight after, to try and save the undercut, but he seems to have the confidence to stay out and must be looking after his tyres. But their fuel has been restricted tonight to about 84% as the simulated Falcon gets loose behind him as well and into the wall. There again, back to the fuel, sorry, they're restricted and they must need a pit stop tonight for sure, with only 84, I think, percent tank capacity or something like that, I think it was in the notes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Simon would have made it so that everyone has to pit.
Yeah, we
I
can
know,
see. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say, I know the organisers aren't real big fans of fuel-saving races, so they tend to make sure that you have to make a pit stop at least.
Yeah, and even in the official series now on iRacing, they've done the same thing, so that pit stops are now available in certain races. So it does keep you on your toes when you join a track. Normally we were used to just running flat out most of the races without any pit stops, except for maybe Bathurst and Spa, and now we're getting shorter tracks where iRacing even restricts the fuel for us to allow for these more interesting pit stop races, which is probably a good thing. It mixes it up a bit as well.
Yeah, so Ian Ford having an interesting strategy. He's, yeah, like you guys were saying, he's normally one of the first to stop. I think not having Rogers here in this event to challenge him certainly will give him a bit of a break. He hasn't had much competition to run with, certainly hasn't been given really too much pressure to overcook his tyres, so we're now 26 laps through 45, so we're just over half race distance.
As he stays out for another lap, he might be wanting to challenge himself, see if he can get back to the lead after pit stops.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, with Ian Ford staying out, only the top 6 cars are on the lead lap at the moment, but that'll surely be cleansed a little bit once Ian pits. But just run through the top 10 for your half race update. So we've got Ian Ford in first, yet to pit. Benjamin Smith second with Cracknell close behind, both pitted. Cielic fourth, pitted. Atkins in fifth, Evans in sixth, Coppo in seventh, which is the first of our lap cars. Paul Grell in 8th, Morris in 9th, and Peter Sattler rounds out your top 10, also 1 lap down. But again, once Ian pits, that'll cleanse a little bit.
Yeah, so a 2-second gap from Smith to Cracknell, as Cracknell just goes past Simon Black. So very good drive from Benjamin Smith in this race.
Yeah, nice and consistent and holding off the pressure quite well.
We've seen him attend a couple of events now, but certainly hasn't been challenging for the front like he is tonight. So good to see him out here having a good crack at it. Mitchell Selak a few seconds back from them, 4 seconds back from Cracknell. Sean Evans sitting in 5th. Blake Coppo in 6th. So as we just look at the gains so far for this race. Biggest gains in the top 20. Robbie Thomas has moved up 11 positions. Not too sure if he's taken a stop yet. I'm guessing he has. Kurt Stenberg's moved up 8. Simon Tennant has moved up 10. Marty Atkins 8. And Paul Preston 11. So good effort by Preston there.
I dare say Ford's might just be looking for a splash and dash at the end of this race. Maybe he, if he can conserve his tyres enough, he might just have to take the splash of fuel and get back out, and that'd more than likely maintain that gap obviously that he's got now, and he'd stay on tyres that are semi-warm still. So that could be a strategy to look at.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times since the pit stop, Benjamin Smith's been well into the 1 minute 27s, and Ian Ford's lap times are around the mid to low 28. So Benjamin Smith's definitely making considerable ground on Ford throughout this phase of the race.
Yeah, and you're right. And after hearing that, then yeah, I'd definitely say to make this strategy work, he would only take fuel if he was to take tyres, and that's just going to more than likely bring Smith right up behind him again. So yeah, definitely we'll have to keep an eye on how long his stop is when he eventually does come in. As again, Ian coming around now to complete lap 29, and he is hitting this lap. Really fast entry here, and he's on the limiter spot on, and he'll be looking to hit his marks and get out as quick as possible.
So a few cars getting back into the lead lap. We've got 11 cars, 12 cars on the lead lap as Ford has come in and done his pit stop. So
yeah, and Smith and Crackers now just exiting the second last group of corners. Just coming on the main straight now.
So Ford's still sitting there as he's just taking off now. So
he
should comfortably get this. Would have caught up a little bit, so the gap is closed right up here.
Yeah, it's going to be on. They're going to be on warm tyres, and he's really going to have to watch himself here on this outlap. I didn't see if he took tyres or not as I was watching Smith, so I don't know if Ford's on fresh tyres, but he might have just taken fuel there.
Yeah, so the gap is closed up to 1 second. Sorry, Brooksy.
No, I was going to say you better hope he's taking fresh tyres, because the guys behind him are doing very competitive lap times, and Ford was only managing 28s, which is nearly a second slower on those old tyres. So I'm guessing he would have taken tyres, or he's going to be under immense pressure.
So Smith will be giving it his all now. He's closed the gap to half a second.
Yeah,
as he's putting it, giving it too much, and he's lost it.
Yeah, he's got the bait dangled in front of him, and he's gone after it a bit too hard, too early there.
He certainly has. It certainly would have given Ford a chance to get his tyres warm now.
course, while we've been concentrating on the battle between Smith and Ford, Cracknell's really gained quite a bit after the pit stop on Smith, and expect to see him underneath his rear wing anytime soon.
Yeah, he's done well to close that gap. Yeah, after the pit stops, he was a fair way back, and obviously it's been chipping away each lap, and doing a great job there, catching right up to the wing. And again, that'll allow Ford to do what he did in the first half of the stint and just drive away from these two if they're not careful.
Well, I was going to mention if Ford did take tyres, he's in the first part of this race he was doing low 27, so if he's taken tyres, expect to see those times again, and yeah, he'll drive away quite comfortably.
So Cracknell now over the back of Smith. This will give an opportunity for Ford to get away.
Benjamin Smith, certainly no slouch on the sim rig. He's GT Academy finalist. Went overseas to Silverstone in London.
Okay, I didn't know that. So good to have a top rate driver in real life here. iRacing certainly good for real life racing. Certainly found that it helped me with real life driving. Takes a little bit more concentration, I find, to do 50 laps in a row on iRacing, clean, fast and consistent. Is Ford not really pulling away from Benjamin Smith? So it could be possible that Ford hasn't taken tyres.
Yeah, just looking, his first flying lap was a 28.2, which really is not enough pace to be able to pull away from these guys. Smith's last lap was a 27.6, so 6 tenths of a second that last lap Smith gained. We could be on for a grandstand finish between these top three. Crackers is certainly not out of contention here either. He's out of the top three. He's probably got the best pace out of all of them.
Yeah, so it's a 1 second gap between Smith and Ford. And Cracknell giving it his all as he drops a wheel off there coming onto the front straight.
And there we see a better lap from Ford of a 27.4. The two guys behind haven't been able to get down to those times since the pit stop, so Ford definitely may have taken tyres, just had a bit of a bad lap previously.
So 33 laps through a 45 lap race, so 12 to go. Gap between Ford and Smith is at 0.8 of a second.
Coming up to Matt Jones, looks like he's struggling with his car. He's actually lost the position to Marty Atkins on this lap, and the car looks like it's got a fair bit of damage on it.
So Smith had quite a bad run coming out of that first chicane. Dropped almost, he dropped 0.8 of a second from Ford. And it's given an opportunity for Cracknell to come right on the back of him now. So Cracknell does a really late brake move into there. Slightly loses the rear end, but manages to regain it.
Yeah, a bit of like traffic coming out now too for the boys to contend with.
So will they let them go? I think they possibly will. Yes.
As Matt Jones lets those guys filter on past. The lap traffic's not over for them. They are are catching Marty Atkins, Paul Preston and Simon Tennant quite quickly.
Yeah, so we've got 19 cars left running in this event. We had 31 which started. We're down to 19 now. So as we run through the order, we have Ian Ford in first, Benjamin second, Benjamin Smith in second. He's 1.6 seconds back. Cracknell right on his rear bumper in third. Mitchell Selleck driving a very lone race in fourth. Blake Coppo in fifth. Paul Gorell in sixth. Matt Morris in seventh. Peter Sattler in eighth. Greg Sharp in ninth. Kurt Stenberg sitting in 10th. Robbie Thomas in 11th. Brenton Hobson in 12th. Simon Tennant in 13th. Marty Atkins in 14th. Matt Jones in 15th, Mihail Ladyshoff in 16th.
Oh, sorry to butt in here, Fonny,
That's
but
right, mate.
we've got a battle right now for second place on the podium. Cracknell's got the inside line. He's slot. Oh, nearly ran straight up the back of Smith.
Whoa.
Forced him wide nearly there too.
Yeah, we might just go back and have a look at that from where it started.
Yeah, back at turn one, the guys got side by side, and I honestly thought Crackers was going to get this job done. He had the inside running through turns two, but Smith was able to just get the power down on the exit a little bit quicker than Crackers.
Great driving from these boys to keep it so clean. Has given an opportunity for Ford now to get a gap. The gap has opened up to 2.8 seconds.
Oh, Paul Preston was just off the track in front of the leader, but no harm was done.
So Cracknell trying everything possible to get past Smith. These guys have driven a great race. They're letting Ian Ford run away with this. Ford's having to contend with lap traffic as he comes up behind Marty Atkins now.
Marty Atkins was another guy that ran the long stint first, and he's on quite fresh tyres. Had quite a good race there, Marty. I think he's up 11 odd positions from his qualifying position. Just the guy in front of Marty as he goes a lap down just now. The guy in front, Simon Tennant, he's up 13 positions from his qualifying of 26. So that's a great drive from Simon Tennant.
These HTR cars looking great on track. Good colour scheme for them. As he lets Ian Ford go past. So we've had Michael Cracknell move into second position. I missed that pass.
Yeah, so did I, mate. I was watching Simon Tennant and Ian Ford up the front there, so I missed that as well.
Yes, we've had Benjamin get on the gas quite aggressively out of the turn, and it's given Cracknell an opportunity to get past him coming onto the front straight.
Looks like Crackers has done it into the last corner there, into the alternate layout. He just got up the inside and just kept it there, and they went side by side almost through the last section.
They did touch at turn 1. Smith turned in a little early on Crackers.
Oh yeah, he did too. He'd be lucky not to have a bit of steering damage out of that one.
Well, it's taken him 38 odd laps to get it done, but Cracknell's prevailed in that one, and it looks like he's opened a decent gap to Smith, so might not doubt if he's got some steering damage like you mentioned.
Yeah, I think your boys are right there. He definitely looks like he's got damage. Struggling to turn it.
His last lap did not count, so he may have a meatball flag, but we cannot see. It would be hugely disappointing for Smith. He's driven a fantastic race, held second position for pretty much the entire race.
Mitchell Selleck still sitting in 4th position there. His curbs are very aggressive as we see the cars bouncing all over the show.
Well, as Cracknell's come up on Simon Tennant and Marty Atkins, who are battling for position, as he gets down the inside of Atkins at the second to last corner.
Atkins doing the right thing there and letting him go. He is giving up his opportunity to get past.
And that's the second lap in a row that Benjamin Smith's time has not registered.
So very likely that he has got a meatball flag, which is very disappointing for Benjamin Smith.
It is a shame sometimes with the coloured meatball flags. As you can see, Benjamin Smith still driving very competitively, and he could make it to the end, but iRacing rules state that he may have to come into the pit lane to get the damage repaired.
Yeah, that's right. I think he gets 3 laps, I think, Brooksy, and then he'll get disqualified. So, unfortunately, he's going to have to come in and service that flag, as you say. But yeah, sometimes, you know, iRacing will deem it as dangerous, but really, it's only just superficial damage.
We'll keep a close eye on his lap time for you, see if this lap registers or if he heads to pit lane. He stayed out.
So 6 laps to go now. As Cracknell goes across the line, pitching another lapped car.
It may just be a timing glitch. Benjamin Smith's time did register that lap, so it might have just been a bit of a timing glitch. Why 2 laps didn't register?
Yeah, or he could have been getting those sneaky off tracks at the last that last section there where I was talking about right at the start, where you take a shortcut. Sometimes it doesn't look like you really drop much of a wheel off, but you'll still get a 1 times down there as well.
I'm sure Fonty may grill Smith in the post-race interviews about it.
Yes, so as we've got 6 laps to go and we've got Ian Ford comfortably out front. He's 6.5 seconds in front of Michael Cracknell back in second. We saw Cracknell make a move past Smith 2 laps back, and they did have slight contacts coming into turn 1. These guys have been inseparable pretty much the whole race. So Cracknell having a great drive there. Benjamin Smith sitting in third. Mitchell Selleck driving a very lone race, as I was saying. In fourth, Blake Coppo, a very sideways moment there. In fifth, Paul Gorell in sixth. Peter Sattler in seventh. Matt Morris in eighth. Greg Sharp in ninth. Kurt Stenberg in 10th. Robbie Thomas in 11th. Brenton Hobson in 12th. Simon Tennant in 13th. Marty Atkins in 14th. And Matt Jones rounding out your top 15.
Yeah, a bit of a shout out there for Kurt Stenberg and Robbie Thomas, up 11 and 12 places respectively to the back end of the top 10. So outstanding drives from those guys.
Stenberg having a very good drive last week at Oran Park. He finished right up there, which was good to see.
Just looking around the field, there isn't many battles to speak of. It's really settled down this race, and most of the cars have got a little bit of a gap over the car behind them. So only 4 laps to go in the race. The entire field's been lapped, barring the top 11 guys. The top 10 guys, as Robbie Tomei now goes a lap down. Ian Ford's certainly been in scintillating form tonight. Pole position and streaking away for the win.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if Rogers had made the race tonight. How competitive he would have been with these guys. I mean, they did put up a fairly good fight right at the start, and obviously after the pit stop there, but Ford just too consistent at the moment and driving away from them.
Yes, so this will be Ian Ford's first win in the series.
Yeah, and I think after the last few weeks he'll be really happy to get one under his belt, considering he's had some really strange happenings in the last few weeks with incidents, etc. So yeah, it's good for his confidence to hopefully get this win with only a couple of laps to go now.
We've had Mitchell Selleck go past Benjamin Smith now. Not too sure what happened there. I'll just shoot back and have a quick look at the replay and see if I can find something within the last minute.
Yeah, it just happened to turn 2. Smith went very, very wide, way off the racing line, out in the marbles, and had absolutely zero traction. It was an easy job for Cielak. Smith's, he must be struggling with some kind of steering, as you mentioned, Luke, because a couple more times haven't registered, and it looks like he's cutting the chicanes a fair bit.
Yeah, it is difficult, like Brooksy, as you know, with even just say a steering wheel slightly off centre, like 20 degrees or so, especially with the opposite lock coming into if the steering wheel's down the left trying to turn right. It's just so difficult to get the thing correct, and with those chicanes, it's such a quick change over left-right that it's just so difficult with a straight steering wheel, let alone with one that's off centre.
Yeah, as we just see him let Simon Tennant back through. He's in absolutely no hurry. He just wants to get to the end of this race. The next car behind him is Blake Coppo, who is 27 seconds. So he just wants to see the end of this race now, Benjamin Smith, and take away the 4th position.
Yeah, zoom forward now through the last complex of chicanes, or the second lot of chicanes there, and coming onto the back part of the circuit now, up over the hill, coming into the final couple of corners, which should be his first race win of the season. Comes now down the last straight before the cutback, a few lap cars letting him pass.
I think Jason Dixon didn't want to do another lap, so he's let Ian Ford through, so that'll be the end of Dixon's race. But Ian Ford takes the win in dominant fashion here at Zolder.
Yeah, good result there for Ford, and no victory donuts. Disappointed.
No,
Team orders.
Executed. Team orders, look after the tyres.
Yeah,
Need them later on in the week, maybe.
Yeah, might be straight into testing for the rest of the week, and saving that engine as well. So, or he might jump up for a chat.
It might not be a bad idea. Exit straight out and check how the tyres handle that stint. So he's got more information, more knowledge for official series.
Yeah, it's a good point. Always good to run these OSR events right at the start of the week. It's a good chance, especially in this series where you've got open setup to work on a bit of a race strategy, and as you say, just check tyre wear, etc.
So 10 seconds behind Ford was Michael Cracknell for SDC Motorsports in second. Mitchell Select getting past Benjamin Smith in the closing stages, 18 seconds behind. He finished in third, so that was your podium. 3 different teams, 3 different drivers. And then Benjamin Smith, who limped home in 4th position. Blake Coppo in 5th. Paul Gorrell a minute behind the winner in 6th. Peter Sattler, the Angry Birds Racing Falcon in 7th. Matt Morris come home in 8th. 9th went to Greg Sharp, and Kurt Stenberg managed to get the pleb Holden Commodore up into the top 10 in 10th.
Yeah, now first of our lap cars, we got Robbie Thorne in 11th, Brenton Hobson in 12th, Atkins in 13th, Simon Tennant in 14th, Matt Jones in 15th, Michael Leitchfield in 16th, Simon Blackout, Leitchfield is in 16th, Simon Black in 17th, Dixon in 18th, Preston in 19th, and Sean Evans rounding out our top 20.
Yeah, and then from 21st was Andrew Williams, 18 laps down, Ross Rizzo, 19 laps down, Brian Ball, O'Sullivan, Todd Parks. I'm pretty sure none of these guys finished at all. Jason Bench, Jake Blackhall, Richard Elwood, Anthony Kernich, and Sean Thompson. And then last was Todd Valentine. So that's your whole field of 31 cars.
Yeah, and some pretty good racing tonight. Like some big crashes right near the start and a few incidents. Not uncommon around here through those chicanes and that, but yeah, all the drivers behaving themselves, getting some really good results.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't see too much side-by-side racing. This track doesn't really tend itself to side-by-side racing, and but it did prove it's very difficult to get the pass done and overtaking at this track. So you have to be right on the limit and pretty much driving the perfect lines if you want to get positions gained.
Yeah, so great race tonight, guys. Some good little battles there. I thought Benjamin Smith drove a great race tonight. Unlucky for him, but those guys certainly gave us some great racing to cover.
I want to give out a bit of a shout out to Stenberg and Robbie Tomei and Marty Atkins and Simon Tennant. Those guys were all from around 10th to 13th, 14th, and they all made up 11 or 12 spots from their grid positions. So while they weren't right up in the top 10, still outstanding driving coming through the field like that.
Yeah, so as we look at the gains for the race, and in your top 20 we had Simon Black. He moved up 14 positions from his original starting place, which was 31, so he started right off last place and got up to 17th. Marty Atkins, 12.
Quality steerer, Simon.
He is. He's a very good steerer, and as I was saying earlier, he puts a lot of effort into bringing all of these cool series for us to race in.
I actually raced with him in the 24-hour the other night, and the first stint he started from pit lane, and when he pitted he was in first position, so I have to give him a shout out for that, because even he was pretty happy with that effort.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a pretty ridiculous drive, Brooksy, being part of that race and seeing that car so far up ahead at that first pit stop, as you say, and yeah, it was a really good job. Yeah, it's good to see a lot of the boys backing up after a big weekend. A lot of them running in the 24-hour with yourself and myself, Brooksy, and a lot of the other iRacing community got on board with that one. So I know a few of the guys on my team were like, we're not touching iRacing for a week after 24 hours in the sim. So good to see we still had a fairly decent field tonight for the V8s as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. This is the first time I've turned my computer on since the 24-hour, and yeah, I needed just a little bit of a break to get my eyesight back, I think.
Yeah, so how did your boys go? Unfortunately, we had a public holiday here in New Zealand on the Monday, and my wifey managed to pull me away for the weekend, so I couldn't attend. But how did you guys end up?
Not the best, mate. We were going very strong, as we just mentioned, up there battling with the leaders for the GT3 class for first 4 to 5 hours, and then I'm not sure exactly, I went to bed because I had work, but yeah, when I got home from work the following day, we'd dropped down a few laps and used up most of our fast repairs, so yeah, it didn't work out so great for us, but nonetheless it was a great experience, and hats off to the guys, Scotty Stevens and that run that AEC. It's a fantastic event, so we had fun anyway.
Yes, and the next event being held for the AEC is the Bathurst 12-hour. That's certainly one that I hope to be a part of in the ANZ Motorsports car.
Yeah, good to see you out there, Fonty.
Yeah, so the V8 Scop Series is coming upon us very quickly. We have the Super Test at Phillip Island on the 14th of February, which will be a interesting coverage. So it'll be interesting to see who is going to be fast for the series. Then we go to the first round, which is in Canada, and that's on the 28th of February. Then round 2 is at Alton Park on the 13th of March. Barber Motorsport Park hosts round 3 of the series, and that's on April the 3rd, and then we're back at this spectacular little Zolder circuit on the 24th of April, and then round 5 is at Road Atlanta on the 8th of May. So that's your information for that series, and that's certainly going to be a great series this year. Plenty of action. We saw Jared Filsell from ANZ Motorsports take out the series last year, only just over Madison Down, so can he do that again this year? Will be interesting.
Yeah, looking forward to jumping in for that Premier Series as well, and yeah, it will be a good series. It was a good series last year, and had some good tracks, and looking forward to some of those team events with the enduros like the Bathurst 1000, etc. So yeah, it should be really good. But looks like we don't have any interviews tonight, Fonty. Nobody wants to say hi to us, which is unusual. Normally get 1 or 2, but it looks like the boys, as we were talking about before, might be a bit tired after the weekend and just wanted to jump out of the car and go to bed. So looks like an early night for us.
Yeah, I'll give it a couple more minutes. We did see last week a couple of guys come up last minute. Had Josh Nowak check out for tonight. Needed to go and attend to some personal things. So thank you to Josh for attending the commentary team for tonight. And thanks to you both for being a part of this each week.
Alright, that's alright, mate. Sorry, yeah, I enjoy it, so it's good watching these guys run around. They always put on some good racing, so yeah, I'm a massive motorsport fan, so any good racer, mate, and I'm there watching at least.
Yeah, that's it, Brooksy, myself included. Try and find anything that's racing on at certain times, and I know the wife was a bit overseeing racing all weekend. I had the racing in the 24-hour iRacing, and then also had the actual 24-hour on a stream on a separate monitor, and so yeah, I had motorsport coming out of my ears on the weekend, and then working in a motorsport shop, it just never ending.
You've got what a few of us probably thinks is a dream job, mate.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Bit of long hours here and there with when the racing starts, but at the moment during the off season, it's not too bad. Just getting all the Formula Fords prep for first round, which is down at Wakefield Park, I believe, I think it's in early March. Yeah, March or the 1st of April, one of the two. Anyway, if you look it up on Formula Ford Australia website, and yeah, come say hi to us down there. And they always put up some good racing. That's just for the state series, and there's a few national rounds combined at Wakefield and Sydney Motorsport Park this year for all the New South Wales viewers. So yeah, if you come down and check it out, you'll see the Anglo Transporter, nice blue and red thing. You'll come down and say hi.
Okay, so we have had Ian Ford come and join us in the commentary box, so we'll just drag him down and have a quick chat to him. Fordy, congratulations on your first race win in the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. It was a great drive for you tonight. You didn't have Joshua Rogers here to contend with, but Ben Smith and Michael Cracknell certainly gave you a run for your money. How did your race go for you tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I had a decent start and, decent qualifying obviously to put me on pole, and the start pretty much set me up. I set my bars and everything as I headed down towards the first chicane there, and after there I just basically hustled along, went into quali mode just because we were a bit worried about the tyres in the heat, and the tyres didn't really drop off, so I just kept on hustling the car as fast as I could and just slowly increase that gap. And I was a bit worried after leaving it a few extra laps to pit, and I was thinking that everyone was going to just slowly undercut me. But other than that, it was an absolute great night in the Maverick Welding Holden. It was just really balanced and everything throughout the chicanes, so I could just absolutely attack them as much as I wanted.
Yeah, you drove a great race, mate. It was definitely close when you came out of the pit lane there. Smith was giving it his all. It was right on your rear tail there until your tyres got a bit warmer. So he was certainly looking like he was going to put a bit of pressure on you. Then he made a mistake and dropped back. So well done for you tonight. How did the car perform? Quite well though?
Yeah, it definitely performed quite well. Like, the rears didn't burn out or anything stupid, so I could just keep on attacking lap after lap in the same places. So, it made it one of those things where you could just absolutely be consistent every lap. And yeah, coming out of the pits, I just had to fuel save about an extra litre of fuel because of the extra fuel burn by being out by myself. I'd actually burn a bit more on old tyres, so I just had to, just make sure that I made it home and then absolutely just full attack again. Yeah, it was great to see some of the boys up there. There's like Ben Smith, Mick Crackers, those sort of boys. They're definitely talents, and it's definitely hard to get a win by this much time over those guys.
Yeah, and only just having the V8 Scops Premier Series just around the corner, this will be a good sort of shakedown for you for that event. Was that part of your strategy tonight to stretch the tyres out? Normally we've seen you take pit stops slightly earlier than most other people, or earlier than the front bunch, and tonight you decided to sort of stretch it out longer than anyone else.
Not really. This is more of my sort of strategy. I rather stay out late and have fresh tyres at the end because I know how much I can throw the car around by then and just absolutely full attack. And usually I just have to pit early just to try and shake up the strategy a bit, trying to get others off their game and stuff, and just trying to make a few positions cheaply, sort of thing. And with Premier Series coming up, I'm pretty sure I'll just wake up on Thursday, do a few laps, make sure that our car's half decent, and then I'll be pretty much set for the whole entire series once again.
Yeah, well, that's awesome to hear, mate. So well done on tonight's win. Certainly been waiting a while for it. You've been knocking on the door and had a few close moments last week. You were certainly in the hunt for the race win and had slight contact with Rogers. So well done on tonight's win, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for putting up the broadcast tonight. It's always a good thing. Also for the newer guys and stuff that are probably watching this, if you want to jump into the Angry Birds servers on Tuesday nights, it's an awesome racing in there. Basically everyone's just trying to learn their place in the V8 and everything, just turn extra laps in race conditions is always good.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, thanks for coming up and joining us, and yeah, we'll see you next week. We'll pull down now Michael Cracknell to have a chat with us. Michael Cracknell, Fonte here, mate. Well done on your second place finish. You and Benjamin Smith certainly had a heated battle throughout the race, and then you managed to get an opportunity to go past. You guys slightly had contact there, but well done to come and finish in second place, mate.
Yeah, cheers, guys. That was a really good battle with Ben. I don't remember where the contact was, but when I got past him, I think we went through there pretty clean. So, and after that, I think he bent his car on the wall or something. So after that, it was just cruise home.
Yeah, well, mate, it was a slight touch into turn one there. Nothing too major. You were certainly right on his tail throughout the race, and certainly showed your nose throughout the race, and we're trying to get past him. How did the car go tonight for you?
It felt really good for the most part. Just after I got past Ben, it sort of started to fall away a little bit. Luckily for me that he made a mistake and damaged his car, because I think he would have been all over the back of me if he didn't bend it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with second, and I've got a little bit of work to do on the car, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, well, with having Rogers away for this week, your championship chances in taking over that first place overall has certainly been brought back to life. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, all the guys at STC, KSW Painting, and Marty Carroll. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, pretty happy with tonight.
Cool, mate. Well done, and thank you for coming and joining us in the commentary box tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week at the amazing Monza circuit. So thank you.
No worries, cheers.
And so we will pull down now Marty Atkins to have a quick little chat with us. Marty, Fonty here, mate. Well done on your race tonight. Finished up 13th overall. How did it go for you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. At the start it was a bit hairy, so I thought I'd just stay back and hopefully pick up a few spots. After that it settled down alright, and then I think it was just before I pitted, the steering wheel just lost total feedback, force feedback, so, and then it'd come back on intermittently. It was very frustrating. So it's gone now, so I don't know what's happened. Not good.
The joys of technical dramas with iRacing. A couple of people had internet dramas there, so
yeah.
Well done on your finish, mate. You certainly pulled up a few positions throughout the race.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just capitalise on other people's mistakes and just try and stay on the track without making mistakes. So yeah, it was good to get to 13th. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, cool, mate, and would like to thank you as well as Simon Black. You guys put a lot of effort, money, and time into bringing us these series for these guys to come and race in. And without you guys, we certainly wouldn't have these series. So thank you very much for your input.
No worries, mate. Simon's probably the one that puts in the most. He's up pretty late hours doing stuff for all the series that he runs. So yeah, he's does an awesome job.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming up and having a chat with us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Monza.
No worries, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the call. It was good.
Cheers, mate. Mr. Simon Black, well done on your race tonight, mate. You didn't quite finish the race, but you managed to come home in 17th position. How did it go for you tonight?
G'day, Mr. Fonny. G'day, Brooksy. Luke, how are you guys?
Good, mate.
Good, mate.
Yeah, wasn't too bad. I only just squeaked into the last place in the top split there. So, yeah, any gain was a good one, and I think I got 8 or 9 cars on the first lap, so not too bad. I made a bit of a mistake there. Probably quarter of the way through and lost a few of the places, but yeah, otherwise not too bad.
Yeah, well, you moved up 14 positions from your original starting grid, so well done on that. Big thanks to you for hosting these events. Without you and your team's input, we certainly wouldn't have these brought to us, so thank you very much for all the effort, time and money that you put in.
Oh, you're very welcome, man, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast. It had something special to it, so thank you very much.
No worries at all. No worries at all. How did the car go for you tonight anyway? You wouldn't have had much time to play with setup and things like that?
I pretty much drove the dev setup with the brake bias change for me. I didn't really have enough time to go through and test a few different options, so I just sort of went with that. It was reasonably stable, but I think the driver needs a tune-up as much as the setup, so 50-50.
Yeah, no worries, Simon, mate.
Yeah, sometimes that's the difficult part, whether to know whether it's the driving or if it's the actual car setup that's causing issues sometimes.
It's one of those cars that, there's only a few in iRacing, but you really, really got to practice in them to be good and consistent. So, the more practice, the better.
That's it, mate. It's a good job.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And is there anyone that you would like to thank tonight, Simon?
I'd like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Yeah.
And thank all the drivers for coming along and having a good race. I hope they have a good race in the second split too. And thank you guys.
Yeah, no worries. Well, we certainly enjoy bringing the coverage for the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series to the world.
Outworld.
And it's been a lot of fun. So I'd like to thank both Brooksy and Luke for the effort and time that they put into bringing this broadcast. And that's pretty much wraps us up for tonight. We need to choose a driver of the night. What's your thoughts, guys?
It has to be Ian Ford. Just clearly dominated pole position, just drove away every stint, so I have to go with 40 on this one.
And how about you, Luke, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to actually say Michael Cracknell. I know he didn't get the race win tonight, and Ian Ford did a great job getting the win, but he was consistent enough tonight and was there when it counted, when Smith had his little incident, to be able to grab that second spot on the podium. So yeah, it was a good job by him, to especially coming back from after that pit stop, and he made up about 5 or 6 second gap to eventually get that second spot off Smith. So I'm going to say Crackers.
Okay, well, I guess that leaves it up to me. Certainly a tough choice to make between Cracknell and Ford. I think that they both drove an excellent race. Smith also would have been one of my picks for the driver of the night, although he did finish 4th and dropped a little bit back. He drove an excellent race and gave it his all. I think that it probably has to go to Ian Ford. He's driven some hard races in previous events, and he's done really, really well. So for him to get a race win tonight, he's got to be happy with that. So I'm going to go with Brooksy on Ian Ford for the driver of the night, followed closely behind by Cracknell. So well done to 40, and that will pretty much wrap up the coverage for tonight. Next week we go to an amazing circuit known as Monza. Certainly suits the V8 Supercar, and plenty of great racing there. So on behalf of myself, Luke Emerton and Clayton Brooks, this has been SimSpeed TV's coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series for round 7, and we've been at the Zolder Alternative Circuit, and it's been some great racing tonight. We've seen Ian Ford win the race, and we look forward to covering this event next week. So that will be all for tonight, and thank you. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you all next week.